Hi everyone, my name is Jiani Zheng. Today I'm going to talk about the showrooming behavior impact to consumer electronic retailers. Here are the agendas I'm going to talk about today. First, let's see the concept of showroom effect. It's a phenomenon in which consumers use brick-and-mortar stores to examine products before they purchase them on the other channel at lower prices. Today, more and more consumers become a smart shopper due to the fact they are able to access to internet and mobile device which help them to shop and different channels and drop them to looking for retailers who are able to provide them cheap lower prices. And consumer electronic retailer represented by Best Buy and retail sector have been spent lots of money to solve these issues. So the objective for me to do this research is that I try to analyze the elements that impact consumer choose different channels to shop consumer electronic products. And I also try to identify the factor associated with showroom effect for consumer electronic retailers. Under this research, there are two main questions I try to figure out. The first one is that why do brick-and-mortar stores become showroom and consumers choose to switch other channels for shopping consumer electronic categories? And the second question is that should brick-and-mortar store retailers lower their prices to compete with retailers from other channels? Besides lowering prices, what other strategy can they use to deal with showrooming issues? First of all, let's see the literature reviews. The first study was conducted by Reynolds in 2002. He says that showroom effect causes important issue between physical and electronic marketing channels. Brick-and-mortar showroom will become mirroring showrooms. Consumer can get the free rights for the information of consumer electronic product they are interested in, and consumer use brick-and-mortar stores for browsing the products and get valuable advice for the sales associate, and later on they switch to buy online with cheaper offers. And the other study was conducted by Blair in 2014. It says showroom effect is a consumer browse and switch shopping behavior. This consumer shopping behavior is a trend in consumer electronic industries. Brick-and-mortar store retailer play dual roles. First of all, consumer able to touch and test the products they are interested in brick-and-mortar stores to see whether this product will fulfill their preference and demands. And on the other hand, brick-and-mortar stores reduce the risk consumer might face in case they are can reduce the issues of returning in case they want to return it after they purchase it. And the methodology of this research, first one, I use the model conducted by Ballot in 2014 called EBR scenarios, which by dividing consumer to three times, E refers to consumer directly shops online without considering shop in a physical store, and B refers to consumer with both and switch behaviors, and R refers to consumer only shop in brick-and-mortar stores and without shops online. And under the situation of ER scenarios, lower price strategy is not helping store retailer to compete with retailer in the other channels. And under the situation of EBR scenarios, lower price strategy helps store retailer to compete with online retailers. So I also use Best Buy as an example since they figure out these showrooming issues in their store since 2012, and from the 10 cases in 2014, which indicates they already go through this issue. Best Buy goes through showrooming issue by considering several strategies. Let's see. First of all, they reinvigorate consumer walk-in store experience by providing membership programs. Also, they develop their e-commercials, which by promotes their official website and mobile apps. And they're able to talk with their vendors to lower the price of the merchandise, and also make sure the first age of product are available in stores. And employee training and increasing capital usage's efficiency also help them to go through showrooming issues. So the significance of this research, first of all, lots of retailers still don't believe showrooming is an issue, but according to the research, 25% of the consumer consider do showrooms, which is also a quarter of consumers who consider do it. And consumer behavior is becoming a trend which was lots of retailers concern, and store retailers have the impact due to the fact that consumers got the free ride from the store retailer, and store retailer cost lots of money to operate their store without getting the increasing sales. So the limitations for this research is that the data are able to retrieve was for 2012, which might insufficient. And I also able to use Best Buy as example to identify the strategy that other store retailer can use, which also narrow to catch the full richness of strategy that I described here. So the conclusions for this research, first of all, the phenomenon of showroom is a consumer shopping behavior and trends. And second of all, price is the main reason why drive the traffic switch to other channels under the current economic situations. Consumers are looking for retailer who can offer them a cheaper price with among the same kinds of products, and consumer electronic retail industry have the impact due to the characteristic of consumer electronic products such as smartphones, sophisticated device which require them to test it and touch it, see whether it fits on their demands and preference before they make an orders. And the lower prices is not always the only solution for store retailer to deal with showrooming issues, as we can see from the models that only when the people who equal to the people who only shop online and only do store shopping, which means the ratio of people have showrooming behaviors, getting large lower prices can only work. And the example of Best Buy indicates that lower price is not the only solutions for store retailer to get over this issue. Thank you.